I believe that you know somebody, or maybe you are that person who participated in a discussion about foreign languages, and then one of you, or maybe you did it, said that, oh, English is more difficult than name any language you want because it has 12 tenses. And today I'm not going to talk to you about whether English is difficult or not, because complexity, like saying something is difficult or easy, is pretty subjective. So what we are going to talk about is the 12 tenses, because people like to use it as an argument for claiming that English is difficult, meaning many people have a difficulty understanding English tenses. And today my goal is to give you a new way of looking at those 12 tenses, which can hopefully simplify your understanding of the English language. There is a concept in linguistics called linguistic relativity, and it proposes that the structure of the person's native language actually influences their world picture, the way they think, and the way they perceive reality. And we're not going to talk about the fact whether this theory works or not, but let's use it as the concept. The concept for perceiving time. Because according to this theory, time is perceived in European nations is perceived linearly, from the past to the present to the future, right? So you can imagine time as time events, right, as linear events. So we are going to need this for our graph, because on one side, on one axis, you're going to have time, and on another axis, you're going to have other things. Another thing you're going to have on your graph is the aspect. Now, what is aspect? Aspect basically means how does the action happen? Is it an ongoing process? Is it a finished action, or does it connect to points in time? And by answering those questions, you can define whether you have present simple or present continuous or present perfect. If you multiply three tenses, three time forms, which are present, past, and future, by 4, you're going to have 12 tenses. Now we're going to look at two pairs, for example, present simple and present continuous. When I was at school, we would just get tenses listed. We would have present simple and then present continuous, and then we would move on to past simple, and I never really understood why and what's the difference between present simple and present continuous. They're both present, like why would you have to present? But when you think about it, the way English tenses are structured is actually more precise than in Russian, for example, because these things do not exist in Russian. But anyway, let's consider present simple and present continuous. We know that that present simple describes some facts, universal facts, or some general truth about you or about nature. Okay, what is an example of general truth about you? Well, let's talk about me. I can say I'm 26, right? It's a fact. It's also a fact. I can say I'm a woman. It's also a fact. So that would be an example of general truth. But when do we use present continuous? Well, when describing a picture, you know that probably, right? When describing an action that is happening at the moment of speaking. And now, for example, I can say I'm talking on the camera, because that's what I'm doing right now. Now, is it something general? Is it universal? No, it isn't. It is only happening at the moment. So you can construct a pair of opposites out of that, and you can compare present and continuous. Why are we only talking about present here? Because you can apply the same rule to other tenses. Simple basically represents a dot. Okay, it's just one event, one single event. This is the best way to describe an action in the past, because when you say, oh, I read the book last weekend, it's just one point. But then continuous already speaks for itself. It is an action that is continuous, right? I am talking now. This is something that takes time, so I now have a vector, so to say. I started at some point, right? And I'm continuing to move. So I will, my action is continuous into the future, to be honest, right? We don't know when it ends. So we do not end that vector yet, okay? But it does have a starting point. Like I said, present continuous is used for describing continuous actions. That's why exams often ask you to describe a picture to check whether you know present continuous or not. Why? Because it's a kind of a movie, like you make it seem alive. When you are describing the picture, I can picture things around me. And you can imagine yourself sitting in a cafe and just looking around, and things are happening because you are observing them, okay? But those things are only happening because you see them. They are not, once you close your eyes, it no longer exists. But if you close your eyes, the fact that present simple states exist. That's the difference. And this relation, of being opposite is the same across the entire set, be that present simple, past simple, or future simple. Now, what about perfect? This is a very difficult tense for many people because they cannot understand how present perfect actually refers to the present, although mostly it describes events in the past. And that is a very good point. So let's return back to our timeline where we have an event, okay? This event happened in the past. For example, I can say I've lost my keys, so now I cannot open my car, okay? I have lost my keys, so now I cannot open the car. So I say I have lost my keys. Like I said, this action refers to the past, so we're gonna put it in the past. And now why is it actually a present tense? Because it refers to the present. It has relevance in the present, because now I cannot open my car. So it's kind of a bridge between an action in the past to the action in the present. That's how the category of perfect works, okay? Past perfect works the same way, you just move in the opposite direction. But then you can say, oh, but you also say, for example, I've never been to India, okay? So I have never been to India, and you're talking about your experiences. If I have never been to India, how can I claim that it has happened in the past? Because you cannot. If your action is now, your existence is now, okay? That is something that is present. If we go back to present continuous and we say that we have a vector that is kind of not ending, let's say the moment I stop talking, I can no longer say I'm talking, right? So you use present continuous until you know that the action is going to stop. The reason why you're saying you're using present perfect when talking about your experiences, for example, is because your timeline is a lot longer. You're talking about your whole life, and we suppose that this moment when that action actually happens, when you go to India, is a lot more postponed, okay? So you have a lot more space, and it's more like moving towards the infinity, you know, because you don't know how long it's gonna take you and if you're gonna go there at all. But we do not consider that, whether you're going to go there or not. We only consider that you can technically do that, so you move on until that action actually happens. And now there is also a rule called sequence of tenses. Now if you imagine time not just as a line but more of a plane, and you have the plane only for the present events and the plane only for future events and the plane only for past events, you know, let's say they're parallel, so they do not really intersect, but sometimes they can intersect when we have if clauses, for example, right? Or when we talk about unreality. So there are other grammar categories, but the thing you have to remember is that you cannot mix them up. If you're talking about something in the present, the tense form you can use will most likely be future, right? That's why if you have an if clause, you would normally use the future tense, but you cannot go back to the past, okay? From the present, you can only move further. You cannot go back into the past. So that's something that should help you when considering what tense to use, okay? So basically, when we sum this whole thing up, you need to, when talking, you need to understand, you need to ask yourself the question, what tense am I talking about now? Is it the past? Is it the future? Is it the present? And is it a universal fact? Does it exist if I close my eyes? Will I continue, like, will I eat breakfast tomorrow as well? You know? Or is it only happening while I see it, while I'm here at this moment? Or is it a bridge between two events? Or is it a moment and then I have my whole life ahead of me and I still have a possibility to do it? So I hope this was not too philosophical for you. I'll see you next time.